What's up, YouTube? It's your boy M times two coming at you with a quick video, mashup of clips, and then a tad bit of the pro-am game, depending on how long this commentary goes. I'm freestyling this. This is a 2K20 review. Um, we're in June. Had the game since release. Uh, you know, decently enjoyed my time here for the most part. Not too many complaints. I mean, there's a lot of things obviously each 2K can get better at. Uh, this having its glaring, uh, you know, this having its glaring problems as well. But I feel like overall is a step up from last year, um, in that degree. I mean, with the variety of my player and more content in my team. Although I will talk about that later. But yeah, I'm gonna start with the my career part. Usually the selling point of 2K. For the most part, it's been the selling point for a long time. So as far as my player goes, you see me playing these park videos and whatever, and honestly, park is probably some of the worst parts about playing my player. Like, I mean, it's quick games, but sometimes not quick because you don't really find games. You know, I mean, like the whole concept of the neighborhood has been a problem since 18, and they still, and 2K threw it in again. Did they update it? Not really. Uh, Not really much has changed. It's still pretty hard to find games. Uh, but when the park is lit, the park is lit. Has its ups, but a lot of times it has its downs. It's really inconsistent. But in games, I remember 2K16. If you load into park, that means you're going to go play park. But usually, sometimes, if you're loading into the neighborhood, you could just be doing that to go to the VC management store. You could be doing that to say, hey, I'm gonna go play rec or PA. That's all in the neighborhood. Or daily spin. Like, there's a lot, and then it registers and says, oh, all these people are in the neighborhood, but really they're doing a whole bunch of other things. So that raises an issue where sometimes parks can be dry. People who are actually trying to play park. I mean, you know, once again, it's inconsistent. Rec, when playing with friends, I mean, it can be pretty fun. Sometimes the lack of competition does bother me, but I mean, honestly, I mean, that's just a staple of, the people I play with are usually good. I usually don't go in there by myself, but when I do, it's absolute torture. Uh, yeah, I mean, rec as a whole, I mean, it's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the kind of the motto of this game. Like, it's average, it's good, it's not amazing, it's not really fun sometimes, lacks the fun factor. Anyway, but I mean, that's all subjective. I mean, it's kind of like a subjective review anyway. Uh, but PA Pro Am has, it's more competitive than Rec. It has a lot of ups. The problem with PA is that when you get to a certain amount of wins, it's really hard to find games. And finding those games is, can take a long time. So usually what my friends would do, you would, make a new Pro Am team and then start over from the beginning. Sometimes we would go out and we go 25-2, but we have to start over because we can't find games. And that's an issue. That's a matchmaking issue that must be fixed for next year. Pro-Am always has some type of drawback each year. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna get into specifics of last year's game or year before, because personally I don't remember, but I just know, if I were to boot up the game, oh yeah, you couldn't do this, or oh, you couldn't do this. There's stuff that you just couldn't do. Um, there's always some issue. You know, I mean, it seems like physical problems that just don't get fixed, and it's kind of frustrating. But I'm willing to live with, the PA that we got this year was, servers were semi-consistent. Just once again, pretty above average as far as the PA goes. You know, obviously, if you have a squad that you consistently play with, like I do, it's a lot of fun. Winning games with your team. Or if you have 10 people, you can play against your friends, assuming that the password works. Yeah, I mean, luckily, over time we finally figure out the whole password thing. But I mean, sometimes it can be hard for it to work. But hey, it's better than it not working at all. Um, yeah. So we got park, rec. What am I missing? My court. My court. It had a. I don't know. I feel like it loses its value over the years. Not really much goes on unless you want to play your friends and knock out or what's that joint called? King of the Court. Uh, I mean, I guess they added new modes, so it was cool. You get some pretty cool rewards as an elite. Change to your mind court, like what's it called? That penthouse. So yeah, there's some cool awards at the end of the day, but nothing, nothing too crazy. My court, nothing too crazy. PA is above average. Rec, average. Yeah, what we got, what we got now. Really, really, my career as a total, considering the whole thing, I'm not really gonna get into the story because by this point, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. But my career has been the same for I don't know how long. But my the whole my player experience, I would give like a B plus. It's pretty good. Obviously has stuff to be improved on. It's not including gameplay. Obviously, I'll talk about that later as well. My team is my favorite mode to play. I did not play it as much this year, due to a number of things, college, you know, me also me playing more my player than ever before. But I still had an all Galaxy Opal team by I'll say early May, maybe late April. Um, I got a bunch of 12-0 awards and more content than ever. One thing I will applaud my team in is that the content is always rising, for better or for worse. Yeah, that's one thing about this whole my team thing. Like I just think that with more content going on, it has its positives and negatives. One of the positives being that with more content, there's more there's different types of people that you can play with. Like Alex Caruso and uh, Manu Bowl and like getting all these Galaxy Opals. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of different people you can play with. But a downside to that is that like there's an oversaturation of what is supposed to be held to a high standard, which leads to a lot of market crashes. At the same time, it does allow a lot of people to get what they want, like the cars that they want by the end of the year, which is also very cool. But you take a game like 2K16 where maybe the content as there wasn't as much content, but you know, there was like a moderation of how people. Uh, Dang, I got that joint blocked. Jesus Christ. Okay, but um, yeah, there's more. There wasn't much content, but they let it go slowly. Like the content they did have, they managed it to a degree where you know it didn't feel like the market was gonna crash one day off of this one guy that's gonna get dropped because the way they were releasing their content was good, even though they didn't have as much as 2K 17, 18, 19, or 20. So yeah, there are some positives to this 2K20 my team, but also some negatives. I'm not sure which way I would like to see my team go personally. Uh, Obviously after 16, it took a more arcadey style where there's a lot of more players to be have. You know what I'm saying? There's like a lot of different players who really aren't good, but then they get really good cards, and you play with them. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, he's kind of fun to play with. Uh, or like the more classic style where I just want to get the best players of all time and put them on my team. Um, but like, you know, as opposed to getting these no names. I'm not saying Alex Caruso's a no name, but getting these lesser players and say, hey, I'm cooking Allen Iverson with Alex Caruso, and and Alex Caruso is actually a better card. And well, anyway, I mean, whatever route my team goes, I hope it's for the better. I'm just not really a fix it type of my team. This is just my thoughts. Uh, we're running on 11 minutes in this video. I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna go, but as far as gameplay, it's definitely a step up from last year. It kind of took like a 2K18-ish approach with a little bit more blowbys, but not too many. And like if you really want to play good defense in this game, you can, no matter what your build is. I've seen it happen. From personal standpoint and from watching other people play. So, there's not really a lack of defense. There's a lot of people using that little hesitation, which is hard to guard when they know how to use it right. But at the same time, you can guard them if you really, look up videos, try your best, all that. Um, so, as far as defense, offense, there's not much variety as far as point guards. Now, is that really the user's fault or 2K's fault? I'm not entirely sure. But a lot of people use the same moves. Uh, very few guards use other moves, so that lacks variety in that department. They took away the behind the back, which I'm glad they did. There wasn't really much other patches besides that, but I'm glad they took away that behind the back. I mean, I think it was really stupid how I can be in front of somebody and they do it behind the back in place next, on my side to them. You know, I mean, I could guard it, right? But at the same time, it was still kind of stupid. So now, by them nerfing the behind the back, I feel like that really leveled off the gameplay. The hop step is the cheese of 2K20, in my eyes at least. That and a little hesitation by the point guards and stuff. But the hop step probably gonna get nerfed next year. 2K usually comes with a different, at least a fresh new cheese. Every year it has something different. Um, so at least in that department, I'm sure something else will probably pop up next year. That'll be the new cheese, but hopefully it'll be more guardable than the hop step, because the hop step was sometimes unguardable, especially when you're guarding a slasher with Hall of Fame fancy footwork, stacked with contact finisher, stacked with solidity finisher, and all the other stuff. So I mean, obviously it posed issues, but I mean overall gameplay also like a B, well, maybe a B plus as well. Also, my team, I would give a B. Yeah, I already explained that part. What's left? Quick game is a rather slower pace compared to all the other modes. I don't. If sometimes it feels like I'm playing in slow motion when I'm playing quick game. Is that really an issue? No, it's not. Um, but I mean, it's not really an issue. It's like sometimes it feels like I'm playing a completely different game, which is again not a problem. So, and sometimes it feels like the hop step isn't as effective in quick game. Also, that's a good thing. I feel like quick game, but it isn't. But I feel like quick game isn't as fun lately. I joined in some tournaments, which made it a little bit more fun. Just to see how high I can get. 1-on-1, got some top eights and other ones. So it was fun. Especially playing with different teams, and historic teams are back. That's always good. Keep them coming. Just don't give us historic teams that we never want to see. Yeah. So overall, this 2K20, I would give it like a B, B plus. Quick game Oh yeah, quick game. I'll probably give it like a B plus as well. So like a good above average game. Um, and this is on a 2K scale, by the way. This is not your average video game, but this is on a 2K scale. I should have prefaced that by saying this before I said this, but this is on like a 2K scale. So compared to previous years, this is like a B plus game. Uh, yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed, let me know down below. If you didn't, then also let me know. Um, you know, keep living, keep dreaming. Stay safe. If you're watching this video, I care about you very much, and I hope that all you guys have a tremendous day. God bless.